Hi, Wes Hamilton here again with another insight for you. This is insight number 14. Can numerology help me pick a start date for my business? You bet it can. I've had a lot of people want to start in certain times and dates, and it's challenging if you're not in the flow of your personal timelines and the message of your business. So this is another fun thing that you get to choose. And typically there's 3 to 4 different start dates. There's not just one window. And that's good to know because some people think I better do it now and I'm not ready. But I'll tell you a little story about a start date for a client I did several years ago. They called me, I think they were in Colorado, and they were starting up this business. It was an amazing retreat center. Um, it was in a kind of a retail shopping area that had its own separate building, and it was all built out, and they had spent lots of money getting it ready, and they had a start date in about 2 weeks, and they just wanted to make sure that that start date was perfect in numerology. Well, we looked at their business. They had a good business name. That seemed to resonate. And then we looked at the start date and like, whoa, if you choose that start date, you might have a hard time getting your business off the ground for several years because that number was a challenge number of being seen, being recognized as a business that was going to be successful. So they didn't like that name. I mean, that comment that I gave them, don't start that date or you'll have trouble. And so, with several different ideas and discussions, they decided to postpone their start date and not sign the contracts and get things to the point where they were ready to be opening in 2 months later than what they had planned on, which didn't sit well with them, but they had heard that if you get the right start date, you're going to be in the flow and have a great kickoff and very successful business. Well, they did start on the time, the date that we had chosen, and numerology had chosen for them. And with their message, the name of the business, that was all good. They called me and said, this is amazing. We are booked up for 6 months in advance, and we've only been open a couple weeks. I think numerology knows what it's doing. Now, that was many years ago. And I just heard from them last fall that they had their business up for sale and it sold very quickly, and it sold for lots of money, like several $1,000,000. So you can't make sure that numerology did all that for them because they're really good business people. But the start date, that was the key. And they thanked me very much for that. So pick your start date using numerology so you got a great send off and you're very successful. More successful numerology tips and insights are coming soon.